Yo, what up? We back with another edition of Sports Betting West. And like always, before we get into tonight's games, we have to do a recap of how horrible I did last night. Last night's tickets is not going my way. So start things off on a good note. Philly versus Clippers covered that over 220.5, like I said. And unfortunately, that's the last, like I said, you're gonna get from me for the night. I mean, there's only a small amount of games, and that was the only ticket that hit out of all my tickets. The clip, Charlotte voided. They matched the -7, winning by 7. So that I don't really consider that as a win. Voided the ticket. But the Clippers did not cover that -2 to Philly. They actually lost 128 to 113. Houston did not cover that -5.5 to Indiana. They won. They only won by 4, 118 to 114. Minnesota did not cover that -7.5 to Memphis. Memphis came back with a vengeance and won that game 128 to 137. And that was last night's disaster. It's rare, I'm not a genius. I don't get them all right. So it happens. Let's get into tonight's games. I bet you it won't happen tonight. We kicking it off first with Denver getting 4.5 to Detroit. Um, Detroit's number one in the East, playing good basketball. But this is just my opinion. It seems like Detroit plays good basketball against East Coast teams. So when they play against the East Coast teams, I'll be quick to bet on Detroit. Like, all right, another East Coast team that y'all been smacking around. When they play against these West Coast teams, I'll be hesitant. So not only do they got to win, they got to win by 4.5 points. All right, Detroit, I'm gonna take you with that 4.5. The over and under is 228.5. I'm gonna go with the over, but I'm also going to bet on Jokic to get me a double double. He's trying to work his way back on a double double list. Tonight might be the opportunity that he's been looking for. Um, Next, my Knicks. We ain't even got to talk about who I'm picking on this one. Knicks is giving up 13 to Washington. I don't even have to. I think the Knicks can cover that. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with that. Picking the Knicks on that one. The over and under is 227. I'm gonna go with the over. I'm also going to bet on Cat giving me a double double. The guy can get the rebounds. I need the points too, Cat. So I'm betting on you tonight for tonight to be your game. Give me a double double, Cat. We betting on Cat to get a double double, and we betting on New York to win by at least 14. The over and under is 227. I ain't gonna touch the over and under. Um, Moving along, I ain't even gonna bet on Jalen Brunson. I never really bet on Jalen. He gives you 30, and the over and under is usually 28. But I'm not betting on him because I'm hoping that maybe he shares some of that 30 with Cat tonight. So we're gonna move along into Utah getting 1.5 versus Indiana. And I like the way Indiana's been playing. They actually beat Charlotte, who was on a 6 game winning streak. They beat Charlotte. Um, I like Indiana. Over and under is 232.5. I don't think I'm gonna touch it. Next should be easy one. The Lakers giving up 9 points to Brooklyn. I like the Lakers with the -9. I also like Luca to give me a double double. Over and under is 222.5. I ain't gonna touch it because I don't really know how much Brooklyn is gonna contribute to that 222.5. Brooklyn ain't been playing too good. Next is Atlanta getting 1.5 to Miami at Trae Youngless Atlanta, who surprisingly can win a game here and there against Miami, who surprisingly can win a game here and there. This one is up in the air. See, Atlanta's getting 1.5. Miami's at home. You got Bam. Then we got a bunch of young kids. I'm going with Miami. Hopefully, them young kids don't run Bam them out the gym. Over and under is 238. I'm not touching it because I'm not really even confident about this game or this team. I wouldn't follow me on this bet if I was you. Same thing like the next one. Chicago giving up 2.5 to the Bucks. Now, if Giannis was playing, I would take the Bucks all day. But no Giannis, no Bucks. So I'm going with Chicago with the -2.5. Over and under is 223. Not touching it because I don't know what either one of these teams is bringing to contribute to that 223. Next to Boston, Celtics is giving up 7 points to the Dallas Mavericks. I like Boston. Boston has been playing extremely good despite the fact that Jason Tatum ain't played not a game this season. I like Boston. I'll take Boston with that -7. If AD was playing, I would take the Dallas Mavericks, but no AD, no Dallas for me. Take Boston with the -7. The over and under is 223. I would go over on it. I'll take the over on that. Next game is Orlando getting 8.5 points to OKC, the champs, and the number one leading the league and wins both coasts. I'm going with OKC. Over and under is 220.5. I like the over on that. Next is 76ers. No Joel Embiid tonight against the Golden State Warriors, when I felt today would have been a perfect day for Joel Embiid to jump back on the double list. But can't bet on him, meaning he's not there. He will not be playing tonight. And with that being said, I like Golden State with the -3. Over and under is 221.5. I like the over on that. Because even though there's no Joel Embiid, I know Tyrese is going to bring it. Last but not least, we got Phoenix giving up 2.5 to Portland. And I like Phoenix confidently to win by at least 3. Yeah, I like Phoenix on that one. Over and under is 218.5. I'm not going to touch it because I don't know how much Portland is going to contribute to that. And that concludes our tickets. Good luck on y'all tickets tonight. Hopefully, you guys did better than I did last night. I know I'm going to do better tonight. If you got any questions or comments, you can leave it in the comment section. But until tomorrow, peace.